It's Sunday the
26th
of November. The theme of this video I think is going to be weather.
Cold.
Yeah, we've had a couple of big weather incidents here in Bulgaria. Having gone from really hot, lovely summery weather, winter's definitely here. As usual, we're a bit late getting the video out.
It's been trying to get everything sorted. We knew it was going to be coming. So
yeah. Well, plus we've been quite busy. We had to go back down to Oroshet's, which is south of Bulgaria, to finish installing the Rayburn and heating for Neil. It's not quite finished, still got radiators to do, but the system's up and running now, so when he comes over at Christmas he can light his Rayburn and be nice and snug. We got a little bit of film of that, just sort of basically showing what it was. On the way to Oroshet's we had the first big storm, which was, what was it called?
Kieran.
Yeah, the one that went through the UK, hit Bulgaria really hard, certainly in the north. We just happened to be crossing the Balkan Mountains when it struck. The front came through pretty quick, probably 20 minutes, half an hour. Obviously bad weather both sides of it, but the actual sort of front of the storm was sort of extremely strong winds, hailstones. There was one village, I don't know, some 70 kilometres from us, they had a freak sort of tornado, and it basically took the roofs off all the houses in the village, done a huge amount of damage. So we were kind of dreading what we were going to come back to, because we then spent the week in Oroshet's. We could see from one of our security cameras that the house was still intact, but we could also see there were some tiles off the roof, but how many tiles off from the angle of that camera we couldn't tell until we got back.
And then we got back in the dark.
Yeah, and then we got back in the dark, so we couldn't really see then. So it was the following day. I've got film of that as well, so you'll see it, but it wasn't as extensive as
it could have been.
Yeah, we were worried it might have been. But. So yeah, so that was the first weather incident, and then we had a nice period in between that storm and the latest one, where it wasn't too bad at all. Some of Bulgaria got a lot of snow, flooding. What, about 10 days ago? But we seemed to skip that. It was slightly further south, literally only a little bit further south. Dobrich was hit quite hard, and that's only an hour away. But we didn't really get any snow.
Until today.
Until today. But at that point we did have power out and no water, didn't we?
We had no water for 2 days. It was an absolute nightmare.
So then we had another week of okay weather, which I spent trying to get the heating systems sorted a bit better, and fixing a hole in the roof. And then we got prepared. The forecast for this weekend was bad, but all of yesterday it just rained and was windy.
Really heavy rain.
Yeah, and we just thought, oh well, it's rain, it's not going to be too bad. And then overnight it snowed.
Not just a little bit.
Not just a little bit.
Snow and wind. It's blizzard conditions. So
as you'll see in the film.
And it's still falling.
Yeah, it's still falling now. Electricity's out again. We're running on the battery from the solar at the moment, but it's going down quite fast, so I keep turning it off. We haven't got any sunshine to get it recharged again. The panels are putting out a few watts, but not enough to really do much good. I keep going out and scraping them off, but the snow is blowing about so much they're covered again almost instantly. So we need to conserve the power as best we can, but at least we've got power.
And we did stock up. We were forward thinking yesterday. Nipped out, didn't you, into town?
We've got everything we need. We've got water in case the water goes off again, which so far it hasn't.
Plenty of food, plenty of wood.
Yeah, we're snug. The Rayburn's lit, the house is nice and warm. So we're quite happy. But yeah, it's
cosy.
It's cosy. It's pretty horrible outside, but
no, Dex doesn't think so.
so anyway, here's a bit of film of going down to Orichette's, the storm on the way, what we came back to, and what the weather's like. So we're crossing the mountains and a bloody great storm has hit, so we've decided to pull over for a minute or two. There's hailstones, lightning, and there's a lot of big trees, narrow roads, so it seemed prudent just to wait for the worst of it to go over. Teresa doesn't like it. Say hello.
Au revoir, I reckon.
More lightning. More lightning. So we've been at our friend Neil's this week, plumbing in this Rayburn. I came down a couple of months ago and built a plinth for it and just sort of assessed what was going to be needed, and then spent basically a whole week here doing all the plumbing. It could have been done quicker, but the trouble is where he lives it's a good hour to anywhere that's got any decent spare, you know, sort of DIY stuff. So you find that, oh god, there's a part you need and you've got an hour's drive and an hour's drive back, so it's very easy to waste time. Anyway, this is the plumbing side of things. So he wanted to put a heat hero in. That's just a heat tool. Be out of the way in a minute. That's going to be for the cold loop, which I haven't quite fitted yet, but it doesn't really need it until the rest of the system's in. At this stage, the Rayburn can be lit and it heats the water, does a nice job. So put that electrical fitting in. This could all be chased back into the plaster at a later date, and obviously this could all be boxed in. So that's the heat hero. Coming down, obviously a drain at the bottom. What makes it awkward here is there's a cottage, or it's an old Bulgarian house. I couldn't go straight up that way because there's a hallway above and nowhere to put anything. So I've had to go through that wall, 1.5 meters under staircase, which you've got no access to, so you're doing it blind. That comes into, that's the staircase that those pipes had to go through. Then downstairs bathroom, they come through the wall here. There's a heat loss radiator, pump. With a heat hero it's a slightly different system to normal. Normally you'd have the pump on the return hidden up in the loft. With the heat hero you have the pump pushing water through. So essentially those pipes, you've got the cold return, starting from the left, cold return, cold feed, expansion tube, the pump heat loss radiator, then the heat, the hot goes through the pump, through that heat exchange, through, up and to the boiler upstairs. So come up. Into the top bathroom. So this is where we put the immersion tank. So these are the pipes coming up. That's an air bleed. Then this header tank will go up in the loft when I'm going to come back at some point and put radiators in all the rooms. I would have done it into the loft this time, but there's no access. The builders, when they sort of restored the house, completely cut off the loft, so there's, without cutting a hole in the ceiling, at the moment there's no access, so he's going to get them to come back and provide a loft hatch. This obviously will become an airing cupboard, all boxed in. So yeah, no leaks, works a treat. So having been away last week when the storm hit, we got back last night. It was dark, so I couldn't see what's damaged. My voice is weird because I've picked up some sort of flu. Always seems to go to my voice. So this doesn't look as bad as I thought. We could see from underneath last night in the dark. Obviously there's tiles, or a tile on the ground, and you see that patch there. We weren't sure how big it was, but there's no way I could see in the dark. But looking at it, I don't think it's too bad. I'll just have to get on the roof and replace some tiles. They've obviously just sort of flicked up. I don't know if you can see that. So I've got that to fix. And then we'll walk up, and in the dark I could see the sheet on the polytunnel was ripped. I'll go and see what actually has happened. So coming up the back, it looks a bit sorry for itself. At least what I was worried about is whether the whole thing would lift off the ground and lose the structure, but that's sound. Just the plastic sheet over the top has been ripped to shreds basically. The netting at that end seems to have held out. I suppose the wind just blows through it. Looks like the sheet's still there, but how ripped it is I don't know. Later on, when it's warmed up a little bit, we'll pull it back over and see what the damage is. I mean, it's ripped it off this end. It's hard to tell. God bloody hell, it's cold, I can't breathe. So nice sunny day again. Bit chillier now though, definitely got to get the Rayburn sorted out. Rest of the roof from the back looks okay. So this is a good example of how the weather can change overnight in Bulgaria. Yesterday it rained all day. It was pretty horrible, wet and windy. In the UK, if the ground's saturated like that, the snow rarely settles. This is the following morning. We got a bit of a casualty. Another tree's come down with the snow. This is deep. Dex doesn't even like it. He doesn't know what to make of it. It's about 7 o'clock. It's Sunday morning. I don't know, 20 something of November. We've got no power. Well, no mains power. I do have bloody hell, that's horrible. The snow is obviously drifting. Dex has suddenly decided he likes it. The panels are all up, but they're obviously covered in snow. There's not enough light yet to produce anything, so we're running on batteries. Obviously we've got everything down to a minimum. This tree's come down, so that's a shame. I quite like that tree. So that's Don't really want to stand under the walnut tree. I've got a big branch here that's a bit dodgy. So there's looking back at the house, and this is overnight. So we've got about I don't know, a foot of snow, but it's drifting. Come to the rocket. Careful! So coming out the back. Yeah. Now Dex has decided he's really enjoying it. Go for it, Dex! Go for it! Oh, poser. Poser. You do look like a deer sometimes. Oh, this is pretty horrible weather. It's freezing cold. So I'm going to go and clean the solar panels off, and then I'm going to go in, put another log on the Rayburn and stay warm for the day. It's now about 10 o'clock. I'll come back out because it's a bit lighter. So this is the tree that's gone over. Quite a decent sized tree. It was quite a nice tree, it's like some sort of ash. It's a shame. Panels are holding up well. It's still snowing. I'm just going to go and clean the panels off again. I've cleaned them off about 3 times so far. And here comes Dex. Come on.
I might disappear.
Hey?
I might disappear.
Teresa's braving it. She doesn't normally, but she's decided to come out for a little look.
I think I might need me out. Oh, snug as a bug.
Lovely indoors though, with the Rayburn going. Oh, it's so warm. You're burying yourself. Yeah, I know.
Text. What's this? Ready? What's this? Text.
He says, "Sod that, I can't see it." Once you throw it. Oh, there's a lot of light. Oh, a bit helps.
Gee, look at this.
Clean these off about there.
They need windscreen wipers. Huh?
So I'll get the words up and I'll come back and straight.
Careful. I think I've had enough of it out here now. Yeah. Dex don't care. Do you, Dex? Weirdo.
So I think that's about it for this video, isn't it?
Ah, no. Today is a birthday.
Today is a birthday.
Today is a birthday.
Whose birthday is it today?
It's asked to be son-in-law Bobby's 40th.
Oh.
So, happy birthday, Bobs.
Happy birthday, Bobby. Sorry. I don't keep up with birthdays the same way Teresa does. I suppose we ought to say happy birthday to Charlotte as well. It's late now, but
Oh, it's only a couple of days.
we tend to mention the kids when it's their birthdays on these videos.
Otherwise, we get told off.
Yeah, and it was also Vida's birthday. Did we mention her birthday last time? We did, didn't we? But we didn't mention Iona's because that was at the end of November. So happy birthday, Iona, as well.
Happy birthday, Owen.
My sister, Iona. Happy birthday. That's it. Oh, the other interesting thing.
Oh.
I just suddenly remembered it. We're applying, or we've been in to do our 10-year residence cards, which is
Permanent
residence. So before we had long-term residence, which is 5 years, which now allows us to have permanent residence, which is 10 years. We thought, there's lots of scare stories on the Bulgarian forums about having to go through the whole process again with proving an income, medical insurance, all this sort of thing, and taking the house deeds back in, marriage certificates and everything like that. But we actually went in. We
had it all with us.
We had it all with us, but they've got everything on the system. We literally just had to have our interpreter fill in the form, because it all has to be written in Bulgarian. Fill in the form, and we had to go back the following week, theoretically, to get photographs done. But we decided, or they said, because our last resident cards were renewed for the Brexit thing, they're only 3 years old, they said we can just keep the same photographs. So that's what we opted to do. Everything's gone through okay, we just got to wait and go and pick the cards up
13th or 14th.
on the 13th or 14th. We could have done fast track, but it didn't seem a lot of point. So yeah, on the 13th or 14th of December we should have permanent residency, which is nice. We haven't got to worry about it for another 10 years. So that's it. I'll maybe on the next video, and there's lots of things I planned to do for this video. I wanted to do the wind turbine, but we've been so busy and the weather's been bad and had too many other things to do, so I haven't got round to that. Cooking, all sorts of things I keep meaning to do, and we end up for sort of semi-retirement. I think I'm busier than I've ever been, but that's the way it goes. It's better than being bored. So until next time, bye bye. If you're in Bulgaria, sorry.
You sound like a 4-year-old.
So anybody else in Bulgaria, hope you're weathering the storm okay. Hunker down, stay warm,
Stay safe.
stay safe, yeah, because there's big trees falling down and all sorts of things, so it's not a good time, especially on the roads. That's it for now. We'll say goodbye.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Dude.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.